third and last prompt, together to embrace. How can we inform the community and educate them on the richness and the diversity of the cultures that exist within the international members group? So this is mostly international students, but this is also built in the idea of international staff and faculty. But yeah, but just in general, like all these cultures just have so much into them, so much richness, so much music, so much like art, so much science even. And so how can we show that to the community and get like opportunities to make it happen?
Should I do you guys?
You can start.
Okay. I think we've mentioned a few things that we could do in our earlier topics too. Like for example, incorporating communities and well, we've talked about talks, but also going to the community members, especially schools, and teaching them about diversity, international cultures, introducing them to different cultures. There's also another one where, I mean, this term we can have it, last term we can have it, but in my first term we had this international fest kind of thing, which I think we should have things like that more often, where everyone would do dances, singing, and everyone, and not just the internationals, a lot of the domestic students also came. So maybe if events like those, if we have more of them, like we could have an international like food festival or something like that, where we could include the community and I don't know, especially during the springtime, it feels like something that the college and the community could do together. Have like cooking, cooking things that people could do together. Like a lot of things could be learned from fun activities. Like they would just learn from eating our things, like what our culture is like, or just dancing with us, what our culture is like.
Yeah. I think Chef Steve does a great job down at like D Hall with the requests and stuff. Like I put in a request before, and like I think the next week, like the meal was actually there. Like I was very surprised. I did it as a joke. Like I wasn't expecting him to like actually put it in the menu. But he did. I think he does a great job of listening to people. But I think like during Thanksgiving there was turkey. I didn't like stay with field work and like I know they do a lot of like specialized events for like special days.
Yeah.
If maybe every now and then like an internet like a particular nation holiday was like celebrated, or like every now and then a specific international dish that people like tend to like is put on, like something I've been missing so much is a gulab jamun. For some reason I've been missing that. Like imagine having that at like on the dessert aisle. Like that's something generally like probably only aside from people who like are gluten allergic wouldn't be able to eat. But like everyone else would love, like that's something a lot of people would love, right? Yeah. And I feel like that's a really nice way to, like you said, food bridges borders, food ends wars. Like it would be a really very like easy way to enlighten people into the richness and diversity.
Yeah, and more talking about involving people in even the campus community and outside community with our cultures is a lot of countries have their like long festivals and stuff, and especially with even recently the Ramadan that they had. Mm-hmm. People who did participate in Ramadan, it was kept very like small and not really said out to people and everything. But if like the dining hall can like do something for them and even like involve people, let people know what the whole thing is about, and even with like national festivals, like kind of like let out information about what the whole festival is about. You could have like little videos that go out to the community where like someone talks about someone tells them about what a normal day back home is like, or what major festivals are like and where it originated from. Just like little clips that could be in the Bentham website. Even those things are like really fun to look at.
True.
Because like imagine being an international student, looking at the college that you're gonna like, looking at their site and seeing videos like these. Also like it's not just good for like us to like being able to share our culture, it's also good for, it has a learning aspect and also has like a more beneficial aspect that like makes it a more open community.
True, I agree with all of this.
I think something that can be good to think about right now is that we just thought a lot about like an international fest day, food, just things that are like sharing our culture in a way that's like in forms of festivities. But we can also think about it in terms of issues that happen in other countries or regions that affect international students or just affect the world, but people here don't necessarily hear about. Just like academic disciplines that are more developed in a certain place in the world or take a different take on what Bennington is good at, I don't know, theater or things like that from other places in the world that could be brought up to the community as a whole, not necessarily only in classes.
I do feel like one of the ways of dealing it could be through films, because that's seeing is more visual representations can be processed easier with the brain, and we know that there are a lot of documentaries and a lot of like even though they're movies, a lot of like real life based movies or international movies that could be shown not just as like a group, but could be shown like be open to the whole community as well.
Yeah, like open screenings at Tishman of like foreign language films that they have in the library. I think like requesting again. I work at the library. I know Wade does his best to like get as many requests like in. So if there's a particular book or movie in particular, like. And if you request it, he'll probably bring it in, and I feel like having screenings would be like a great idea, a great way to spread information about where we're from.
Yeah.
You know something really funny? When I was a kid, we had like I was like in third grade, second grade, you know, so really young. But we had this, we had a homework every day that one person had to bring. Like a news article in their own words or something that happened in another place of the world that day. So it was very interesting, and people would bring news from all over. I loved it, and I think that is something that we can adapt to. Obviously not via homework, because I don't think people would do it. People would slack and ask for extensions. But like. Having a sort of bulletin of some form that would allow us to share news with people, or like a Facebook group, something like this, or a mass email thing, with like these are some news stories that are happening around the world. You should follow them, subscribe to our mailing list. That would be a very useful kind of way to connect on also a more deep level.
Yeah. And especially like there could be radio shows, because Bennington has its own radio station, so like have radio shows based on current affairs. We could also have I really like the idea of utilizing like bulletin boards, because like you could also place it in different places around the campus, and maybe utilize it in first year forum.
Yeah, just like a way to inform people.
Yeah, especially in the first term when you guys don't have a lot of things to do.
Maybe that is something that like in first year forum it would be very useful, like have like every week just bring in like a piece of news, no longer than a paragraph, just from somewhere else in the world. It could be your country, it could be somewhere else, but somewhere else.
Yeah.
As a note about that, there was, I don't know if it's still happening completely, but there was a radio show supposed to happen this term called World Lab, where every week they would bring in an international student to like talk about their country, play their music, and kind of like share the kind of thing. So if it's still happening, get in touch.
Yes.
Sadly, this situation has paused a lot of our plans, and maybe not paused, but it made us have to rethink a little bit of things online.
But if those people are on campus and we can.
Yeah, she's on campus, Andrea.
Oh,
Of course
she
it
was
is.
doing it. That's so
Plug it in for your girlfriend, right?
Nice going. But yeah, I feel like it could be utilized in forum, and maybe the talks too, because if a lot of we're dealing with maybe talks on global situations, then maybe a good briefing even during like introduction could be given, just as like letting people know that this is the place for people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like going back to one of the previous prompts about infrastructure, having like a designated space and maybe a larger force of people in the international student services could facilitate a lot of this. Like if there's a place where we could go to and say, hey, we'd like to plan this event X, Y, and Z, it'd be much like easier to do that with a specific group of people designated to do like, let's say or like campus outreach or like something like that. I feel like an overall expansion of that would like enable a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you guys so much for doing this. It's been really great. We have like 10 minutes left. There's one more thing I'd like to do. It would just be one-on-one interviews where you introduce yourself. Hi everyone. Thank you for watching this video. This was the panel presentation for the diversity conference that was supposed to happen on March 19th at Bennington College. I hope you enjoyed listening to our peers and listening to these ideas. I wanted to put focus on the fact that just watching this video doesn't really represent enough things to bring change, and we're aware of that. And I think that that's true for us, and it's true for also you who's just watched this video. So please take a moment to maybe reflect on the things you've seen, the things you've heard, and the ideas you might have had that we didn't get to talk about. And so you as the viewer also have the exact same power as we do to bring some of those issues forward towards making the school more welcoming of international students and other minorities. Once again, thank you for watching and hope you have a good one.